What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast, man. I'm your host, Q1 Humphreys, and today was a really good day of basketball. Now, every day of basketball is a really good day of basketball with us being this deep in the playoffs. But not only with the playoff games, we also witnessed the draft lottery where the Atlanta Hawks, my Atlanta Hawks, received the first overall pick. I'm not going to speak on that at all right now. I actually have a video coming up later this week about what I believe we should do with the number one overall pick moving forward. But I want to dive into these game fours. We had a couple of game fours today. First, we had the Pacers at home battling the Knicks. They were down 2-0 in this series. It is now 2-2. They came out and they smacked the Knicks in the mouth early, and that was it. Like, that was the fight. It was a first round knockout, and we had to watch 3 more quarters of the Knicks being down by a lot of points. The Pacers won the game today, 121-89. And, I sat down and cut the game on, and it's like before you knew it, the Pacers were up 20 points. At the end of the first quarter, it was 34-14. The Pacers hit, I want to say, 5 or 6 threes in that first quarter. So you imagine that they scored more points from three-point land than the Knicks scored in total in the first quarter. The largest lead for the Pacers was 43 points, which is crazy. When you look at a playoff game, to say that the largest lead for a team was 43 points, and not just a playoff game, but a playoff game where the tides of the series can shift. If the Knicks win this game, they're up 3-1 going back to MSG. The Pacers win this game, now it's the best 2 out of 3 series where anything can happen. And the Pacers, they came out, man. The home fans, they gave the role players a boost. They gave the whole team a boost, and you really see that tonight, this afternoon, the Pacers just did not have. They just played like their backs were against the wall, and truthfully, it was. Looking at these stats, the New York Knicks, not only with them not being able to get a stop, they couldn't make a shot. They shot 33.7% from the field and 18.9% from 3. And if you think about the Knicks and you look at how they played over this playoff run, they've done it with their offense, they've done it with their 3-point shooting, and they just couldn't throw nothing in the ocean tonight. Meanwhile, the Pacers shot 56.8% from the field and 45.2% for 3 while hitting 14 threes on the day. But you look at games 1, 2, 3, and 4. What's been the difference? To me, the difference, and really it started after game 1. The difference to me has been Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, we talked about him earlier in this season after the in-season tournament, his performance in that, and how he's emerged to be one of the top point guards, one of the top young guards in this league. But the whole thing with him, even last series, the whole thing with him was that he's not this guy that's gonna be. He's a great passer, but he reminded me of a Steve Nash, a guy that, and he still reminds me of Steve Nash, a guy that's gonna get a bunch of assists. He's gonna make sure everybody gets involved. He's not gonna score that many points. Well, these past 3 games, he's proved me wrong. Now, we only had 20 points this game, but the last 2 games, he scored over 30, taking over 20 shots, and that's something that I have not seen from Tyrese Halliburton. I have not seen Halliburton be so aggressive and looking for his own shots to where now he's not getting those double-digit assists. I think he finished with 5 assists this game, 7 assists last game, and 6 assists the game before that. Now, this is a guy that was a 20 assist guy earlier this season. He had back-to-back games where he had 20 assists. He was probably stat padding, but the fact that you can get 20 assists shows you a past first point guard. But over these last 3 games, he hasn't been a past first point guard. He's been a guy, okay, my team is more dangerous when I'm looking to score because I know I can pass that ball. But if I put pressure on the defense, okay, we have to guard him too, not just as a facilitator, but as a scorer. That opens up the dynamic of this whole team. And over these last 2 games, he's averaging 29.7 points, and it's a sight to see. I'm excited to see what he does the rest of this series because the series is transitioning to Madison Square Garden, and now he does have a good game in game 2. Game 2, he dropped 29 points after a 6-point game in game 1. Which was shocking to me. But Tyrese, you doing it, man. Keep doing it. This is what point guards are today. Yes, the modern point guard is not. People don't want to call it their point guard, but that's what point guards are. Point guards are a threat to score and a threat to pass, but they're mainly scorers. If Tyrese can channel that, not just through the rest of the season, but through the rest of his career, I feel like the sky's the limit for him. But looking at the Knicks, I also wanna ask the viewers, ask you guys this: do y'all think that the injuries are catching up to the Knicks? We know about Julius Randle. He missed his whole playoff run. He's not going back to the next season. He's the second best player on the team. And the Knicks have been battling through injuries all season long. They've been carried by Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart over this playoff run and getting to the playoffs. But OG Anunoby, he's missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. And them hamstrings are tough because, one day you may feel all right. You don't really know. And hamstrings are not really much you can do. You just got to wait it out. Wait till it feels better. But OG has been such a big piece of this Knicks team since he's been traded there. He's averaging 16.4 points in his playoffs, and it seems like the Knicks just have not found a way to kind of make up for what he does. Precious Achiuwa just came in and gave the Knicks good minutes. Miles McBride has been good this whole playoff run, but it's just not OG. Josh Hart's already playing 40 plus minutes. Dante DiVincenzo's already playing 40 plus minutes. Jalen Brunson's already playing 40 plus minutes. So Thibodeau has got continuity with his top 5, especially with Julius Randle being out. His top 5 being Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Hartenstein, and Anunoby. He's gotten that continuity with them. He's been running them for 35 plus minutes a game, really for the majority of this season. And with this injury to OG, it kind of seems like they don't have that continuity. That continuity's gone. McBride is a good player. Precious Achiuwa is a good player, but it's not the same as having the guy that you're used to having, arguably being your third or fourth best player on the team. He's not there now, and it's going to be tough for the rest of this series. Now, however, I do still have the Knicks winning this series just because I believe in the brilliance that is Jalen Brunson. He's proven to be a superstar in this league, proven to be one of the best guards in this league, scoring the ball, really being a point guard, and in general, he's proven to be one of the best guards in the league. So I have full faith that they're going to wrap the series up. It may go to 7, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that MSG crowd, I guess, boost the Knicks, similar to how the Indiana crowd boosted the Pacers today. I'm gonna go with the Knicks in 7. I'm gonna go with the Knicks in 7 because I don't see no other. I don't see a road team winning another game in this series. Now, that moves me to our second game for another series that started out 2-0 and is now 2-2. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the Nuggets, after getting blown out in game 2, people told me, man, it's over. People told me, man, it's over for them. People said they might get swept. You know who I'm talking to. He said they might get swept. And I was like, no, they may lose, but they're not going to get swept. This team is too good to get swept. They're going to at least take one. I felt like it was a series going to go 6. I felt like they were going to win game 3, lose tonight, and then win game 5 in Denver. But I was wrong. The Denver Nuggets came out here tonight and won 115-107. And this is one of them games. It was a really, really, really good game. Anthony Edwards had a spectacular performance, a 44-point game. Aaron Gordon had 27, 7, and 6, shooting 11 for 12 from the field and 2 for 2 from downtown. He is the third player in playoff history to record a game with 25 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, and 5 plus assists on 90% shooting from the field. Joker, the MVP, he did his thing, 35 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds. When I look at this series, I say it looks like the Nuggets have settled down. I think they were kind of surprised with how the Timberwolves were playing. They played with a different kind of aggression. They played in your face. There were several times where they forced a turnover on Jokic or the Nuggets just because they were playing with a lot more energy than the Nuggets were in the first 2 games. But especially tonight, of course, game 3 when they won by 27 points. But especially tonight, it just looks like the Nuggets are playing with that same aggression, that same tenacity that the Timberwolves are playing with. And I think when both teams are playing the same level of intensity, the better team's gonna win. The better team's gonna win, and I believe the Nuggets are the better team. The Nuggets were my pick to go back to back. I got the Nuggets to win the championship again, like I said a couple videos back. But the biggest thing to me, among other things that happened over the course of these last two games, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray he looks a lot better. He looks a lot healthy. He did not have a spectacular performance tonight. He had 19 points, 8 for 17 from the field. But if you look at him and you watch him and you say, okay, this is the Jamal Murray that we saw in the Lakers series. This is Jamal Murray that we saw in the latter half of the regular season. The Jamal Murray we saw in games 1 and 2 was definitely feeling that, was definitely feeling that calf injury that he's been battling all throughout the playoffs. And if you're battling a calf injury, and I don't want to, no pun intended, but you got a pack of wolves waiting on you, and you hobbled, they're going to jump on you. And we saw that especially in game 2. They jumped on Jamal Murray, forced him to a terrible 3 for 18 performance. But game 3, he had a really good game 3 and followed it up with a solid game 4. Another thing I want to say is Aaron Gordon. I talked about him a little bit earlier with the third player in playoff history, yada, yada, yada. But Aaron Gordon, to me, he looked like he was unplayable in this series in the first 2 games because he could not hit a jump shot. And if you watch the first 2 games for the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, but the way the Timberwolves were defending Jokic, they would swarm Jokic. They would swarm him. They would have a guy on the ball defending him, defending him when he's dribbling the ball, he's pressing up on him, and they would have a big. In game 1 it was Gobert, game 2 it was I'm gonna say Karl Towns. They would have him sit in the paint because that guy the guy that was sitting in the paint was guarding Aaron Gordon, and they did not fear Aaron Gordon hitting that jumper. And for the first 2 games, it looked like, man, like Aaron Gordon, he's not playable. You can't play him. But you can't play him, but you can't sit him because the Timberwolves play big, so you gotta have some sort of size. But he hit 3 threes in game 3 and 2 threes tonight, so he's doing his job and hitting shots. But you also see now, going back to the Jamal Murray health, now that Jamal Murray's moving with that same speed and agility and the way he's moving a lot better, that puts more pressure on this Timberwolves defense. Because the thing about this Nuggets offense, it is home to arguably the greatest attack in basketball right now. The 1-5 pick and roll with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. If Jamal Murray can't turn that corner off that pick, then that whole pick and roll thing is not going to work. But now that he can turn that corner and put pressure on that big that's coming up to hedge or whoever's coming up to switch, now that makes you think, okay, Jamal Murray's coming off that screen. Now he's bringing that big out. And if he brings that big out, you got Jokic slipping right behind him for an easy pocket pass into a floater, or if dude pick up, he throws a lob to Aaron Gordon who's cutting, or if dude picks up and if dude in the corner leaves his man to go pick up Aaron Gordon, he throws it to the corner to the shooter. And we see that a lot this game. We're seeing Caldwell Pope hit shots. Michael Porter Jr. did not have the best game. We're seeing Justin Holiday come off the bench hit shots. Because you have to make a decision with Jokic. Are you going to let him go one-on-one, or are you going to help and double and leave these snipers on the outside? How would I defend them? Me personally, I'm letting Jokic go for 50. I'm letting Jokic go for 50, but he's going to get 50 in all twos. He's going to make 25 shots. Now, foul trouble, we know about the foul game, all that, boom, boom, boom. But bottom line, I'm letting Jokic go crazy, and we're going to stop everybody else. I think that's the only way you can potentially stop this Nuggets attack, and that still may not work. My prediction for the rest of the series, I have the Nuggets in 7. I think we're going to go back to Denver. I think, we're going to go back to Denver, and I think Denver's going to win that game 5. I think the Timberwolves going to come back game 6, win game 6, and it's going to be a best. We're going to see who the better team is. In Denver, game 7, mile high, the Denver Nuggets have the most OP home court advantage ever. This is a team that people were writing off. But this same team people were writing off, people said 2 weeks prior to this series that they're going to go back-to-back. So I felt like it was crazy that team just looked at 2 games, and yes, that game 2 was ugly. It was ugly, and Gobert didn't play, so you was thinking, okay, man, dang. Like, Gobert ain't even playing, and they're locking him up. Wait till Gobert come back. But Jokic is one of the best players in the world. Mike Malone's one of the best coaches in the world, and this is one of the best rosters in the world, and so we just going to see what happens. Like I said, I have Nuggets in 7. I also have the Knicks in 7 in the other series. We have a couple of Game 5s coming out tonight because by the time y'all see this, it'll probably be Monday afternoon-ish. We're going to talk about them. I also have a Atlanta Hawk video. I'm going to take my time with that one because, there's no rush with that. I'm not on a timeline. The draft is until June 26th. So, that's all I got for y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks. Until next time, we out. You dig?